Hello, it's Jeff. I was looking at a post today that seemed fairly common. People ask about my computer's getting dropouts and I don't know why. The first thing that I usually recommend when I see things like that is using this tool, Latency Monitor Home Edition from resplendence.com. And it's free. And if you run it, it does something like this. So this has been running for 1 hour and 25 minutes. And it currently says that my system appears suitable for handling real-time audio. And it gives you some stats about your system so that there's something easy to copy and paste out. It's hard to scroll in it when the thing's running. We can stop it and look at that. Then it shows you all the processes that are running on your PC. But this is the tab that I find the most useful. This is the drivers tab. And if you look here, you can see my USB port.sys has pretty high latency. And then this one, which is a DirectX graphics kernel. And then the TCP drivers there. So if I stop it, hello, there we go. Then you can look at the stats and you can scroll through them and see some of the different things that you can learn. Yeah, it shows you some details by CPU, and it looks here like I'm not using the CPUs very hard. I haven't been doing any mixing. I've just been letting the thing run basically, and so on. So I'm on Windows 10, but for different versions of Windows, I think Windows 8 had this too. If you do the Windows button and the X key, it opens you up these different options. Laptops have a cool presentation mode, and presentation mode actually gets you pretty close to being able to record and mix without too much trouble. So if you open the device manager, it gives you this view here, and this has a lot of things that are interesting in it. For example, I have a touch screen that has a USB cord plugged into it, and it sets up this secondary monitor. I've only got one monitor, but it has the same monitor work like two, so I always disable one of those. For sound and video stuff, some folks like Craig Anderton have recommended disabling audio devices you're not using. Like there's my monitor's audio device, so if I want to watch TV, something like that. This one is the one that I guess came in the PC. That's the one that I really use. So they recommend disabling those three. I don't always do it. You can do that as something to try. Here under network adapters, this is one that's pretty useful. You can come in here and do under power management, you can uncheck allow computer to turn off the thing to save power. And you want to do that on both of these. So that in an effort to save you power, you don't get an interruption. Now on laptops, you have another one up here, and I can't remember what it's called, but you can expand like power supply. And there's like a HD something something compliant battery charger device. And you can disable that. Now you don't want to disable the plug itself, right? So like read them. If you restart the computer, these things will refresh anyway. So while you can probably make it so that your computer suddenly turns off abruptly by disabling them while you're using them. If you're careful and just disable the battery charger while you're recording, this just makes it so that it doesn't test the battery to see whether or not the battery is at 100% and then charge it some more. So like if you're using the laptop and you can normally run for like an hour and then all of a sudden you get a dropout and you don't know why, It could be something like your computer decided to check the battery to see if it's still at 100%, and if not, give it a little bit of a charge. It could also be the network cards. You want to take a look at those things. Now, from the same perspective, where you do the Windows button and the X, there's power options here. And you want to make sure you're on high performance. And you can come in here and do change plan settings. And then this has this change advanced power settings. And from in here, really the most important one here that I know of is the USB selective suspend setting. You probably want that disabled. So you don't want it checking to see whether or not you're using the USB device while you're in a recording session, and considering whether or not to turn off the USB stuff to save power. You just want that running. Turning off hard disks after 20 minutes, that's usually not an issue if you're recording, right? The only thing where it could be an issue is, say you're running a recording and you are the engineer and you decide to also browse the hard drive. And you've been recording all the data on the C drive, and you suddenly want to access the D drive. It may spin up the D drive, so power it up and spin it up so that you can go read it. So you might want to consider setting that higher or telling it to never turn them off. Those are choices as well. I let mine go off. I don't really. This is my in-home computer. This is not the one I normally carry out to go record. Normally I carry out the laptop. So the laptop that I use to go do recording out of the house has got slightly different settings than the computer for working inside the house. So those are just some of the my thoughts. I don't know, and these are Windows-based, obviously, ideas. You can also disable if you have a network card that is whatever Wi-Fi. You can come in here and disable it altogether, rather than just changing the way the power works. You can do other things, like you could disable stuff you're not using, like here's a OHCI compliant host controller for FireWire, but it's not really necessary. In my experience, the stuff, as Windows pushes patches, the stuff gets re-enabled sometimes, so you have to come in and double check and make sure that things are as they should be. Mouse and pointing devices, sometimes you have problems with these guys. And these also have power management stuff. Allow the device to wake the computer. Allow the computer to turn off to save power. If they have this stuff, you want to disable that stuff usually. So that's what I got there. I can't think of too many other things that I think are too useful there. One of the things that I do use also is this, which is called Space Monger, and there's free versions of it out there. And what this does is you point it to your hard drive and you say, go find me everything on my hard drive, and then it shows you, like, here's my Cakewalk projects, and then you can right click on it and do properties and see like how many gigs of Cakewalk projects you have, you know. So I've got 367 on the drive right now. These are my bounced down tunes, how many gigs I got of, you know, bounced out songs, 221 gigs of that. Here's my pictures. Here's like Hollywood type music, you know, like CDs I bought and stuff. Here's downloads. Here's my recycle bin, and here's stuff for DigiCheck. So DigiCheck is an RME tool that'll make recordings. That's what I'm using to make the video recording right now. And DigiCheck has some stuff in it, so I can find where my big projects are, and I can go get rid of the stuff or back it up. Normally, I can't really afford like cloud backup for, the terabytes. So what I do, since I can't afford cloud backup for terabytes, I burn them to DVD and then delete them. And then if I need them back, I load them back off the DVD. That's all I got. Thanks. Don't forget to like and tag, ? Bye.